A few weeks ago, we shared a video on how our family makes sauerkraut. And on that day, we not only made the sauerkraut, but because we had quite an abundance of cabbage, we also made a couple of different flavors. The first one was one called a Curtido, which is a Salvadorian ferment. It's got the cabbage in it, but it's also got things like, well, normally there's some oregano, but I'd actually run out on the day. But we did include the other things like the jalapenos and red onion and carrots as well in that one. And the other thing that we made on that day was something a bit like a kimchi. I'm not going to call it kimchi, but this one here had kind of kimchi-ish inspired flavors. We had a bit of leftover gochugaru paste. We put a bit of garlic and ginger. And today, what I want to do is give you guys a little bit of an update because we've actually opened both of those flavored ones now. And I want to share with you how that Curtido and also how that Kimchi'ish ferment has gone. I'm actually about to make some 2-minute noodles, and one of the things I like to mix through that is kimchi. So I'm going to open this batch up. This is the one that we made together in the sauerkraut video. Now, I'm calling it kimchi, but realistically, it's not a strict kimchi like we normally make it. As you would have seen in that video, when we were making sauerkraut, we did different flavors, and this one has some kimchi-inspired flavors in there. Every time they're always a little bit different, so yeah, it'll be interesting giving this one a little bit of a taste. And this one is obviously very different to the way I normally do kimchi. Alright, it has been quite cold this week, so I did leave it the full week. When we do our normal kimchi, we often don't leave it quite that long. Okay, so the first thing I'm looking for is whether there's any signs of mold or anything like that on the surface, of which there is none. When I did take that lid off, there was a bit of a nice fermenty sort of smell to it. So I'll just pop you back down and we'll pull out that weight that I put in there. Okay. I'm not going to pop that back in. That'll get washed up now, so I can use that in another ferment. And the next thing I'm going to do is just pull some of those leaves off the top. I can go into my food because those leaves, they're fermented cabbage, just as good to eat as everything else in there. And I'm going to sneak a bit of a taste. Let's see how good this one is. Actually, I'm going to pick some off the fork. It's got that beautiful fermented flavour that I'm looking for. So that's definitely long enough. It's still got a good crispness as well. It's not too spicy. I was actually wondering with the amount of chilli that we put in this if it would be super spicy, but no, not at all. All right, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my noodles. I'm going to chuck some of this in and yeah, the verdict on that one is that made for a really nice kimchi flavoured. It's not like our normal kimchi, so it's kind of like a kimchi flavoured sauerkraut. I'm honestly not quite sure what to call this, but it doesn't matter. It's a really good ferment. It's been about a week and a half, and this one is still bubbling away, but I have heard it's best to eat the Curtido fresh, so hubby's just about to open this one, given it's got lots of jalapenos and stuff. Anything with chili is your favourite, isn't it?
Yeah.
Alright, let's have a bit of a look in the top at the start. So as always, when we open the ferment, we're making sure there's no mould or anything like that on the surface. I'll be honest, it's not ideal that some of this cabbage has floated up to the top, but it is such a short ferment that I think we've caught it and there's no moulding, which is good. Alrighty, time for a taste test.
It's a lot of bubbling.
Yeah, it is still really active.
I might need 2 forks, Pete. Oh,
Yep, let me grab another.
because you don't want me to touch it, do you?
Well, it depends if you want to eat that cabbage in this sitting or if you want to pop it back in there. Actually, we probably won't pop it back in there. Keep that out and we'll use it. Basically, if we put it back in, it's just a risk that it's going to introduce some baddies in there and then it'll go bad quicker. Now this one here is the one that had, jeepers, there is lots of bubbling. It's got lots of cabbage, carrot, red onions, and of course the jalapenos. Whoop.
It's really good. It's got a good bite.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's not hot, but there is a warmth to it.
So you reckon this is a good one to add to the repertoire when we're doing sauerkraut? Do that as a bit of a flavour as well?
I like this one because I like the crunchy ones. That's why I like the big cabbages, not the savoys, because this has got more crunch. Yeah, this is really good. It's got just a nice warm feeling to it.
Again, that was 1.5 weeks that we went with this one. I did read some people were fermenting it a lot shorter time than that, and then some people go longer. And again, that's the great thing about doing these types of ferments is you can mix it up to your taste. If you want it funkier and more fermented, go longer. If you like it fresher and crunchier, just go a little bit less time. I thought I'd give you guys a bit of a sneak peek of a couple of the different ways that we've been using the Curtido. In fact, already this jar is almost empty. This was one of the first meals we used it with though, just as a bit of a side, and that's how we've actually been eating a lot of it, just on the side of dishes with meat. One thing I'm absolutely loving is when you've got it with meals and there's a bit of mashed potato. I just find it adds that bit of a saltiness and a crunch with the mash. And yeah, it's just a really nice way of eating it. Adds a little bit of spice to the dish as well. So yeah, this is one of the first meals that we did, having it on the side of the chicken, but also it goes well with different types of proteins. Pork is another one where it's really, really nice with the pork. As you'll see in a second, it's also really nice with something that I didn't quite expect. And that was with a little bit of silverside, which I'm going to show you in the next clip. The biggest gripe that I've had so far was from my eldest the other day. We had dinner and we had a bit on each plate, and we got told we didn't put enough on the plate because he really liked it that much. So yeah, that was really nice to hear. But today I'm using a little bit of it on some leftovers. It was basically some frozen mash. I think there's some cheese sauce in there as well as a bit of silverside. It was just frozen portion, and I've defrosted it for lunch. But to kind of take it up a little bit of a notch, I've just put a little bit of that fermented Curtido on top of it. And I did find the other day we had a meal where we had this with the mashed potato, and just that really yummy, crunchy, salty, but also funky, fermenty flavour with the mashed potato tasted really good. So I think that's going to make for a really nice lunch. Hopefully you enjoyed seeing how our ferments turned out, especially considering this was the first time we'd done a Curtido sort of style one. And of the Kimchi'ish one, that was a little bit different given we normally do kimchi differently. Now, if you do want to have a go at something like this and you didn't see that sauerkraut video, I definitely highly recommend go back, check that out, because it gives you a good idea on how to do sauerkraut in a day, but also pull together flavours like this while you've got all your fermenting equipment out and you've got cabbage on hand as well. So as always, hopefully you enjoyed following along. Thanks a bunch for joining, and catch you later.